So somebody got mad at me. Now, it could be that I was probably a little too harsh on one of my videos, because there is a little bit sometimes of irritation that goes with the way a lot of people present things. And y'all remember the whole scenario where somebody came and claimed that it was PC gamers that kicked off the fake narrative that console players were saying that the PS5 Pro was comparable to a 4090. In the same video, another person also tried to spin it that it was PC players that are somehow obsessed with this narrative that only a few people are, in a sense, talking about the comparisons with the 4070. So I made a video and I set the record straight. That's what I intended to do. Somebody commented and said, "Did you make this video for the Calisto protocol patch on the PlayStation 5 Pro that supports 8K 30 FPS with ray tracing and maximum settings with 6K rendering? I don't understand what you gain by making fun of a person who made a mistake." I have to say, sir, they did not make a mistake. They willfully understood that there were people saying it, but they tried to minimize it. That's where the context is. So anybody that wants to watch the video, you can watch and you can judge for yourself. If I've made a mistake, please call me out in the comment section. If there's something that I've done that you think, did not follow exactly what was actually said, that would help me. But this Calisto protocol news is something I wanted to go ahead and point out. Apparently, the game got an 8K 30 FPS update, and I saw it for the PS5 Pro, but I was like, this isn't something that we haven't seen before, and I'll show you why. Because even on the channel, if you go look very carefully, I actually have a video where I run Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor in 8K. The 4090 is capable of doing 8K gameplay. Now, some people might say, well, but that's the 4090. I know. I'll get around to exactly what it is I want to show you, and you're going to see that it is not relegated to just the 4090. So I replied, and they said, you should probably show that the RTX 4070 can do the same or even more. I would like to see that video. Now, one thing this particular comment tells us is a lot of console gamers, y'all need to start getting more and more used to and versed with the PC platform. You see, there's a reason we've known for the longest time what people are now starting to realize, and that is the PC platform is one of those platforms that has the capability to just scale even way further than a console can even imagine. The second side of this is what another audience member of mine also said to me. FX, shout out to you. You said to go ahead and look up this article. Actually, guys, if you want me to look in an article, just copy the name of the article and paste in a comment, because links are not supported by other parties. So I searched up the article, and I'd actually seen the article before. I didn't want to make a video about it, but you guys are putting in these requests, and I think they're very interesting, and I think there's a lot of tie-in with what's going on, seeing that AMD is closely linked with the PS5 and the Series X. This article from WCCF Tech says, PlayStation 5 Pro's bad PSSR implementation in certain games is caused by older versions of the upscaler. Future batches of supported games will look much better. So they talked about a developer from Reset Era that had actually come out to say, yeah, the reason you're seeing these challenges is because the SDK they have is, an older version. And so as SDK 10, which is a newer version, comes into play, it's going to make things better. What's going on here are the challenges that PC gamers have been facing for the longest time. In fact, AMD, with their FSR implementation, took a long time to be able to get it right. And not only that, they were actually launching hardware and promising people that they were going to get FSR 3. Look at this PC Gamer article from back in 2023. It says AMD FSR 3 and frame generation support is debuting in 2 games this week. Apparently, if you read, and it says AMD's FSR 3 upscaling technology is set to make its debut tomorrow. So in 2023, September, we were getting something that AMD basically was supposed to ship in 2022. It says, on the 29th of September or 30th, depending on where you live, AMD's Frank Azor, Chief Architect of Gaming Solutions and Marketing, made the announcement today via Twitter, or X if you call it that. FSR 3 or Fidelity Super Resolution, blah, 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 was announced by AMD back at the launch of the RX 7000 series in early November 2022. It's been a long time coming. You're getting a similar promise for your upscaler that the PC audience got in a similar fashion back when they got their 7000 series GPU. Welcome to PC gaming. And for the 8K resolution, there's a YouTube video here that you can go ahead and watch. The YouTube video basically has multiple games being rendered by a 3070. You said you want to see a video for a 4070? A 3070 rendering games in 8K resolution. The 4070 is better than the 3070. It is faster. It will rasterize better than it. But I decided let's just show you the 3070 so that you can see that 8K resolution gaming and 8K resolution rendering has been a thing from a very long time in the past. That's the reason I'm showing you the 3070. And they tested 10 games. You can come out here. You can see all of the FPS as time goes on. You specifically requested that you would like to see that video. Here is the video. Here is a video clip. Why do our PlayStation fans not type in stuff on Google or YouTube to see if the possibility is there? We've known about it, but, you know, not a lot of people have 8K displays. Not a lot of people want or care about 8K displays. So right now, for the most part, it's still one of those fads. Not saying it's bad. It's just is not applicable to a significant number of people. So we're going to look through these games. We're going to look at their FPS and, you know, largely that way we can kind of see what's going on here. You have Forza Horizon 4, which is touching 46 FPS, right? In terms of its FPS counter from this person's video here. And by the way, the video is actually uploaded. If you go change the YouTube quality settings up to 8K resolution. So just in case you were wondering, they may have, I don't know how YouTube got 8K resolution. Apparently YouTube has had 8K resolution for years. I didn't even know that. Well, good for them. Then they have another one for Call of Duty Black Ops. Let's look at the more challenging games. Let's look at Death Stranding. Death Stranding 8K 38 FPS. Open world game. Something that I think perhaps the PS5 base could probably have done. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's way more than that. But this is old PC tech. 3070 is old stuff at this moment. By the time the 50 series comes out and the mid-range 50 series comes out, it's going to be ancient. Then you have Doom Eternal, which is doing about 60 FPS, let's just say 40 FPS, right? You have Cyberpunk 2077, which is in this case doing 40 FPS at 8K resolution, according to this video. You have Watch Dogs Legion doing about 40 FPS. Godfall, the game that basically, came out and did not really do too great. It's doing about 50 FPS in its resolution as well, rendering. Then they went back to GTA 5, which is doing about 50 FPS. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Old games, you can do old and new games. You'll see them all. And then The Witcher, which is doing about 40 FPS. You can do it. You can do RTX. Let's just do 3080, right? 3070 Ti. Let's not even touch a 4070 because, again, that's going to, in a sense, make it seem like the 4070 is struggling with this PS5 Pro. They're not in the same category. I've been telling y'all, a lot of our fellow PlayStation fans, you don't like to listen. So, again, this is going to be very interesting. Oh, ZZ Worms does a lot of comparisons with a 3070 and goes all the way to 8K, right? So this, Calisto Protocol improvement, it's nice. It's a nice feature to have. But like I said, it's not something that, in a sense is going to move a lot. Let me even give you something crazy. The GTX 1070, and we're not touching the 4070. Because again, what you're going to do is you're going to make it seem like, oh, the 4070 is fighting with this PS5 Pro. We're not going to touch the 4070 in this video today. The GTX 1070, no, calm down. It doesn't do 8K that I know of, but the GTX 1070 can render 4K. Can it render 8K? We don't know. I haven't seen anything. Right? Is it possible for it to do 8K? Oh, it could do 8K. Oh my gosh, the 1070 Ti can do 8K. That's interesting. Wow, we can click the video and we can see. Let's look at 4K though. I know for sure that the 1070 can do 4K. I accidentally discovered it in Batman Arkham Origins back years ago. And this is a 2016 GPU. So in 2016, what was the current console device that existed in the world? It was a PS4 in terms of the big names and the Xbox One. These two consoles were the major consoles across the board. And somewhere, somehow, already, the 1070 Ti was capable of doing 8K gaming at the time. So again, let's not hype the PlayStation 5 Pro too much to the point where we abandon the fact that technological realities on PC have always been light years ahead. That right now, PlayStation is just receiving the problems that AMD has already solved years back. And this is what you're going to see as a theme continue, going onward. So it's not anything, really special. We just have to, understand. And this was doing it at, GTA 5. Now, GTA 5 is an old game, yeah. And I'm sure the PlayStation 5 can actually do this. I mean, because the 1070 and 1070 Ti, the PS5 is better than it. But the PS5 that was supposed to render, 8K resolution, everybody was so focused on the new games that we weren't even in a position to be able to try out these cool things on the PlayStation 5, because that's where a console is actually limited. That's where a console actually does show its shortcomings. You have to wait for developers. You have to wait for everybody to tell you what you can do with your game, when if you had a gaming PC, you just rock it and you just go from there. So I hope this answers that question. I hope this calms everybody down, so that we can realize that, hey, man, the PS5 Pro is a thing. If you like it, enjoy it. Don't try to compare it to a gaming PC, because they're in different, leagues across the board. It's just a whole weird, comparison. Let the 8K thing excite, those who play on console who've never seen it before. But again, if you ask me as a PC gamer who's seen, 8K implementation, who can also mimic it, I don't see anything that's too impressive about it. In fact, I just thought, this probably a game like Calisto Protocol will benefit because it's more of a slow-paced game, right? But if you're playing a fast-paced game, you're going to need 8K 60, and that's a different kind of machine that can render that kind of stuff to be able to get fluid frames and so on and so forth. All right. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it so much, because I think this is one of those things that will get us to the point where, for the most part, a lot of console gamers who are now interested in, better, more powerful technology are now going to get exposed to, how they can get their hands on some of that and some of the advancements that are already out there. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.